Ever since we first saw Supreme Leader Snoke in The Force Awakens, there's been a lot of speculation over his true identity. A majority of these theories speculate that Snoke is in fact Darth Plagueis, Palpatine's old master. Now, I was very iffy about this idea at first. I mean, it all seemed too convenient, and it's always been suggested that he was dead. But after a long time thinking and researching, I believe I now have a rational answer to how Snoke is in fact Darth Plagueis. Well, more or less.
It is time to complete his training.
So, as we know, Plagueis was an incredibly powerful Sith Lord who had the ability to sustain life. However, Palpatine tells Anakin Skywalker that his apprentice, meaning his alter ego, Darth Sidious, killed him. Now, straight away this hit me as odd. I mean, Palpatine says he can't save himself from death, and he can't be Snoke if he's dead, right? Well, not quite. What if Darth Plagueis is dead? Bear with me here. Now, multiple times in Star Wars, we see the Sith separate themselves from their original persona.
My master could never be as vile as you.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
Notice that Darth Vader claims that Anakin Skywalker is dead and that all that's left is the Sith Lord. Well, what if this was reversed? Now, I think it's pretty clear Palpatine, following the rule of two, chose to rise up against Plagueis, and we presume kill him. But killing Plagueis doesn't necessarily mean killing Snoke. If Palpatine was to defeat Plagueis in combat, and Plagueis was to surrender or was unable to fight, then doesn't that remove his title of Darth, denouncing everything that the Sith stand for? I mean, a Sith Lord that can't defend himself against his own apprentice isn't really a Sith Lord any longer, and is at the mercy of that apprentice. So when we say Plagueis is dead, he may be in terms of his Sith persona, but he himself as Snoke may still be physically alive. Well, alive-ish. As we see, Snoke is pretty messed up by the time of The Force Awakens, and this could be the aftermath of Palpatine's betrayal. But this still leaves a big question. Why would Palpatine leave his old master alive? Not only does this defeat the rule of two, but why would Palpatine want a very dangerous Force user still around that has a personal vendetta against him? Remember when Palpatine said,
He became so powerful. The only thing he was afraid of was losing his power, which eventually, of course, he did. Unfortunately, he taught his apprentice everything he knew. Then his apprentice killed him in his sleep.
Well, this is a lie. Palpatine claims Plagueis told him everything, but Palpatine can't save others from death, as he says himself. So clearly he wasn't quite taught everything, and as opposed to losing this important knowledge, he may have chose to keep his old master alive. Well, more or less alive. In this scene from the Rogue One trailer, we see the Emperor kneeling before this bacta tank. Now, a bacta tank is a medical device in which the subject who is injured is put in the tank for a set amount of time depending on the severity of their injuries. We see that Snoke has some pretty extreme injuries that would take a long time to heal, and there's a lot of evidence to support that Snoke is in the tank. Perhaps the largest of being, the Emperor is kneeling before someone, and who else would the Emperor kneel before if not his old master? Now, by Palpatine keeping his former master just alive in this bacta tank, it would allow him to communicate, possibly learn from him the secrets that he didn't know, or seek counsel from him. And Snoke, at his apprentice's mercy, would give him the answers in exchange for Palpatine keeping him alive, biding his time. Or possibly Palpatine kept his old master somewhat alive as a form of trophy. It's no secret most Sith hate their masters because of the brutal training they endure, and Palpatine keeping his old master on the brink of life may seem fitting to a Dark Lord. Then we have another odd theory that I have. We assume from Rogue One the Emperor was aboard the almost complete Death Star Mark I. The Death Star's superweapon runs on kyber crystals which are attuned with the Force. Now, this means the laser is essentially powered by the Force, and it's perfectly possible that the laser may require help from an experienced Force user, maybe to empower the crystals or tune them in some way. And if Palpatine had a Sith Lord at hand who was inclined to carry out his orders, then it would definitely come in handy. We also know whoever is in the tank is important, as the Emperor's elite royal guards are stationed there. As well as this, it shows that whomever's in the tank is a closely guarded secret by the Emperor, as only he has the power to control the guards. I mean, if this is Sidious's master, he definitely wouldn't want Vader to know, because Vader may see Sidious as an unneeded middleman and betray him. I've come to believe that these theories are true, or at least partially true. They make enough rational sense, and I mean, unless Snoke is a character we've never heard of, who else is a Force user that could have seen the rise and fall of the Empire? Who else would the Emperor bow to, or be so dedicated to keeping alive? And Snoke's injuries are definitely severe enough to warrant a long bacta tank trip. So, I'm confident in saying that Snoke is more or less going to definitely be Plagueis, after a long time debating it. Of course, this all could be completely wrong, however, we'll just have to wait and see. Remember to put your opinions or theories in the comments below. As well as this, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, as I loved making this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.